Hello, so I'm going to give you a walkthrough of how I have my garden set up. This year I'm doing a string trellis system for my tomatoes as well as a drip irrigation system. And I have a mix of emitters as well as a soaker line. So I'll give you a little tour and show you how I have everything set up. So first I have the garden hose running out to the greenhouse. I don't have enough room at the faucet to do the timer and the adapters. And it was just easier to do it this way so that way, you know, if I need to move the hose, I can just disconnect it from the system. So if you come inside, I have the timer set, and I still have to actually set it up and program it because I'm still testing out to see how long I need to run the system with my tomatoes and see how long, you know, for how much the water is needed and things like that. It does have a manual button which I'll be demonstrating, and you can increase the time for how long it runs, as well as a rain delay, so that way it skips the cycle. So then I have the siphon, the pressure regulator, and then the adapter to connect the 1/2-inch main line. So this is the main line running along the outside. And then you have this 1/4-inch tubing which connects to the emitters. Now this is an inline emitter so you can keep the hose going. And then for now I just have a plug so that way I can add emitters as needed, you know, if it needs more water throughout the year. And then over here in the shade, I'll kind of show you how I do the string system. So up here I have basically some fence posts, and then I created a PVC pipe support system. And then you have these tomato line hooks. Well, actually it's like a string trellis system for the tomato hooks. So it has all the twine included, and then you just unravel how much you need, and then here you can wrap up the extra so that way it's a tight line, and then it goes down to the tomatoes. And I have a metal stake that I have into the ground, and then I tie it, and then here's an example of one of the support clips. So that way as the tomato grows, you support it to the line, so that way it doesn't lean over or anything like that. Now what's cool with this string trellis system is you can use it for other plants like cucumbers and have it travel up the line. And then as they grow, if you need more space, you can actually drop the plant and then move it down further so that way it keeps growing. And then over here I have, just as a, you know, to try it out, I have the sprinkler type emitters, which I'll be showing that when I turn the system on. For now I have them turned off, but like I said, when I need more water throughout the year, I can actually turn those back on. So these are the ones that I have inside the greenhouse. So then I will show you the system that I have outside. So these are the tomatoes that I have on the string trellis outside. And then we had some extra potatoes come up from last year. So I moved a few of them so they're all in a line here, which I have the soaker line to kind of see how that works this year. And then I also have 2 extra tomatoes out here. Now the string trellis tomatoes are the indeterminate, where they will keep growing throughout the year. And then the 2 that I have in the corners are determinate, where they will only get to a certain height and then stop growing, so they don't need a support system. Now the emitters that I showed you in the greenhouse were the inline, where you can connect an emitter and then continue the line throughout a section. These ones out here are an end emitter, so it connects to the line and then it will just drip out the side. So little different options. These are a little bit faster. It's a 2 gallon per hour emitter, and then the ones in the greenhouse are 1 or 1/2 gallon per hour. So let me turn on the system and I will show you how it all works. So for this one, I just turned to auto and then I press the manual button and the water will start going through. It does default to 10 minutes, but you can just press the up or down arrow to increase the time. So now the water is going through the system. So you can see as it drips. And then you can change these out if you need more or less water. And let me turn on one of these sprinkler ones. The reason I decided not to do the sprinklers mainly in here is because the tomato plants don't like to get wet. So that's why I didn't end up using those. But that's how this one looks. And you can obviously increase it, but I don't want to get the tomatoes too wet. Once the tomatoes grow higher, you can cut off the bottom limbs, so then it won't be as much of an issue as far as getting the plants wet. Okay, and then I'll go out and show you the other ones. So then these are the 2 gallon per hour, so you see they're a little bit faster. But I figure the plants outside, they will dry out faster, so they will need more water. And then this is what the soaker line looks like. Now, because I'm using a weed barrier, you know, some of the water will pool, but it will go through eventually and get the area down below wet, so I'm not too worried. One thing I might look into is the option of putting a valve so that way I can turn the water off for the outside section. So that way when it rains, I don't have to worry about, you know, having it run outside. I can just do a little bit of watering on the inside of the greenhouse as needed. So this is how it all works. And I will post any updates throughout the summer to let you know how it's working, if I decide to change any of these out, and go from there. If you got any questions, let me know.